what's happening within the region, because it is a big discussion. And the other trend that has been noticed, and I think this was captured on one of the dailies, the front page yesterday, is growing militarization of the structures or the administration of these three countries. The fact that in Uganda, despite the fact that Yoweri Museveni transitioned from being a military leader to more of a civilian president, appears to have gone back to allowing the military to run a lot of things, including the fact that even the activists who were arrested were detained by the military, according to their own admission. There's also the trying of civilians in military courts in Tanzania, in Uganda. We saw the military come out very fast in Tanzania, immediately once the election process began. We saw the same in Kenya, that even before parliamentary approval last year, the military was already out in the street. And this goes to talk about the nature of our democracy. The fact that we are very fast to let the military out of the barracks, and some things that should be handled by the police, we resort to militarization of the state. Do you think that that is an indication of the state of democracy in East Africa?
One, let me say that, in fact, the head of state that governs the three East African communities, and especially, let me quote Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. What happened is that sometimes they opt to go against the normal protocol, where if it's military, in Kenya, you have to seek authority from the parliament. And before that is done, then it tells you any release of military from the barrack to action is illegal, and it's not within the path of the law. In Tanzania, we have seen the same situation happening. In Uganda, we have seen the same situation happening. Then you fail to understand whether there is no confidence or trust in those other security bodies. Because that is why you have, in Kenya, you have GSU, we have APs, you have Kenya Police, and before you invoke military you can only invoke when things are there and they are inland. But I don't think that Kenyans, and what they are doing is just normal demonstration. Then you need to use that heavy power to force them out. And you fail also to honor the protocols concerned, then you jump and you invoke military to take control when that particular authority is not yet done. It is wrong. And what I would just say is that I don't know what the Constitution of Tanzania envisaged, but in Kenya, in particular where I belong, I know the procedure that should be invoked in a particular line. The military require to be called when there are issues of serious border crisis, but not our internal matters. Mm-hmm. Our internal matters, you need to deal with those other security mechanisms, and when it fails, is only when you can invoke military to take off. But I don't think a 1 day or 2 day scenario should invoke military. Mm-hmm. It's wrong, and I would say that, in fact, the heads of the, and especially, because that cannot be done without the authority, the presidential authority. And what we would say is that let us respect the law, respect the Constitution, and abide with it, because we swear to protect it. Yes. If we want to use jungle procedure, it is wrong, and it is taking the country out of the path. Yes. And therefore, I would say military also should not be misused. There is the hands of the militaries, which also should also allow military to get out of the barracks when there is a clear direction, the clear order that actually they are mandated by the law to do. And I think we should be within the constitutional path if we want to rule Kenyans, because this is a country of a civilian government. The civilian government, I think we should follow those procedures enforced by the law. But if the country is a country which is under a coup or under a revolution, that's another case. But when a government is a government elected by the people, you must also listen to the people before you invoke military to them.
Yes. Yeah. And it talks about the growth of our democracy and the level at which we are in. The fact that electoral processes, an election, within a day or two, you have the military on the streets, that says a lot about where we are. as any of the three East African countries.